All right, everyone. Good evening. This is Financial Literacy 101. Hopefully everybody is staying safe. Hopefully everyone is feeling good like I am. Today, the name of this video is called The New World Order. And we can talk about the second, as I stated, I knew there's going to be another stimulus package. I know you guys remember me saying that. Yes. It's not like I predict the future. I'm just looking at the analytics of it. There was going to be another stimulus package, right? So this one is $2.3 million. The other one was $2.2 million. So what's that? Extra billion. Okay. Extra $1 billion. So now this video is coming from a good buddy of mine. He's one of my millionaire friends that I did a video on. He talked about real estate, not broad, but this is Gashar. Okay. And we're just going to talk about in this video. Now, I'm going to show you his Facebook page. He released this video, I believe, today. We were supposed to do an interview this evening, but he probably fell asleep knowing him. Anyway, like, yeah, dog, in New York, it's kind of late, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm going to let you guys really take notes and think about some of the things he's saying. Now, when I think about social distancing, right, a lot of people's job, those who are still fortunate to work and make money, are have done measures to put down social distancing 6 feet apart. A good point is, as Americans, the regular feet that we actually talk to people is anywhere from 2 to 4 feet. Most of us really hanging at 3 feet how we talk to someone, right? That distance. Some other countries who are considered very close speakers speak anywhere from 1 to 2 feet, almost close to kiss. And what happens when all of this is over and we're supposed to go back to restaurants sitting next to each other? But without further ado, I'm going to let him explain exactly what I'm talking about, because he's going to do a little bit better. Stay with me. The video is about 20 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to play it all, but it's a lot of good information that I think will really spark your interest. Now, my disclaimer is I'm just sharing this. 2, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing that anything in this video is fiction or nonfiction, but it's definitely his point of view and his perception, okay? So take that with a grain of salt, and here we go.
What's going on? Yeah, I've been like on the rampage lately, and it's kind of battling some of you guys. Just as far as perspective, and I hate to say it, some of you guys get it and some of you guys don't. So I'm gonna break this down as best as I can. And yeah, I'm walking outside. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, I don't got a mask. I could care less about a mask right now. Ain't nobody outside anyway. We're in a new world order, and there's a few things that you guys should be concerned with. And the people that make the right decisions right now are going to be very successful, and the people that don't, they're going to be in for a whirlwind of trouble. So I'm going to just break it down like this. The Fed just said they're pumping another $2.3 trillion into the economy. Newsflash, that's more than the 2.2 they just promised. Why is the Fed pumping so much money in the daggone economy? Well, the first answer is, the obvious answer is obviously they don't want it to crash. Pumping money into an economy never stopped it from crashing, or it softens the blow. But here's what it does. It's going to delay the inevitable. It's going to give businesses and society a false sense of hope, which is what they're hoping to do, and that this false sense of hope will re-trigger the economy. I don't know. Anybody looking to take a vacation with that $1,200 that they're getting, or looking to continue to go on vacation with the little unemployment check that you're getting? Probably not. So what really stimulates the economy, we've talked about it already, is confidence. The thing that some of you guys don't realize is the world is changed, and it's changing forever. okay, people think that when this is all said and done, businesses are just gonna pop up like the little dolls that you knock down and they pop back up. That's bullshit. I'm gonna give you a few things to consider. Let's just talk about you and your mindset. You've been at home for how long? Some of you, most of you, right? They say it's all over. You can go out tomorrow. You go into that restaurant, you feel comfortable sitting around people, you feel comfortable with that waiter or waitress bringing out your food, grieving over your food. Do you really? Do you think restaurants just pop back open just like that? You think the all the jobs that disappear, they just come back just like that? They don't. You think the people that's sitting and making $1,000 a week, 400 or 500 from the state, another 600 from the feds, you think they jump right back into the marketplace? They start looking for jobs again, right? They're making $1,000 a week. They're gonna start looking for a job so they can go to working hours, give up 8 hours of their time, and make the same damn money. It doesn't. So the Fed has to stop pumping money eventually, and when the music stops, the economy is gonna be fucked up.
Excuse the harsh language, everyone.
I'm saying that because I want you to understand. So you're gonna lay down and deal with it, or you're gonna find a way to make some money. Here's the problem. Some of y'all don't invest or buy anything. You're just sitting around working. So all your money is gonna go to people like me or the people that invest and find something to take your money. So what happened? The old cliche, right? The rich get richer. Well, you got an opportunity to be one right now. With all these businesses and real estate is about to be on sale. Everything is going on sale. You don't believe me? Let's have a conversation in December. I bet you 100 grand. Everything is going on sale.
This I agree with.
Everything.
I agree.
Businesses, stocks, real estate. Industries change forever. Because the next time you're getting on a cruise ship, think about it. See, the thing is, when the music stops and the government stops printing money and trying to save everybody, there's going to be some shakeout. And that's when this thing's going to go bust. Has to happen. It has to. They're not going to save everybody. Mark my words. There's going to be some big companies that are going to drop like flies. They're going to cease to exist. They're going to start filing bankruptcy. I'm not a psychic. Just pay attention. So how you line yourself up, take advantage of what's going on. Take the blinders off and get to work. Like I ain't sitting around all day watching Netflix. All right, you want to change your family, you want to change your life, get to work. All right, there's going to be investment opportunities. Start lining yourself up. Start educating yourself. Start figuring out what your next move is. Half of you thinking y'all gonna go back to a job, or y'all floating on the job right now. The only reason you floating because the government's paying for it. What happens when that chair stops? I guarantee you, companies are gonna start downsizing. It's called a recession. That's what happens in a recession. Companies downsize. Some of you that's sitting on the job, sitting on the couch, watching Netflix, your job ain't gonna be there. Now what you gonna do? You gonna sit there and blame the government? I'm telling you, this is gonna happen right now. Do something about it. Government never helped nobody. I'm out here at 7 o'clock working. I've been up since 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm plotting. I'm gonna do fine. You wanna do fine? Get to work. Let's talk a few other things. Oh, the government can help everybody. No, they can't. Government's been flawed ever since its existence. Newsflash, I'm black. But the government has to protect me, right?
I'm black too, but
the reality is the government, the reason that we need these protections is because the government jacked them up in the first place. You talk about yeah, we need to get slavery back. The government allowed slavery, remember? They allowed Jim Crow, remember? They allowed banks to take over the world, remember? They gave all the government contracts to people that don't look like them. Allowed them to get rich, remember? So what you think they're gonna do now? Think that little check helping out? See how your lifestyle change. There's a tremendous opportunity right now. You want to go on a business, it's about to be on sale. Go get ready and line yourself up. Get credit worthy. They're going to be lending. You got people that are going to be retiring permanently right now. So buyer's market. Get ready. Figure out how you can offer a product or service that makes and takes other people's money. If all you got is a paycheck, you're in trouble. People working from home. You think the light bulb ain't go off for businesses? They figured out, okay, oh crap, people can be productive from home. So you think, oh, they're gonna keep Americans when they figure people can work through the internet from now. No, they're gonna start going overseas. The work is cheaper. I ain't gotta deal with unemployment insurance. I ain't gotta deal with workers' compensation insurance. I ain't gotta deal with payroll tax.
You got to deal with HR.
Think that's gonna be beneficial for jobs? Doubtful.
You got to worry about employment recession
You
center.
gotta save yourself. What are you buying that's going to put money back in your pocket? You got Gucci belts, what they're doing for you now?
Holding my pants up.
You got Range Rover, you got debt on, you got $1,000 car note.
Yep.
Good luck. What's that worth for 10 years? Same thing as this Toyota I'm passing. Probably less. Toyota's working. You know, wake up. I'm particularly talking to my people too. Let's get it together. This is a huge opportunity. We sitting there licking our wounds. Let's get to work.
All right, everybody. As you saw, me and G was chatting. He left his phone downstairs. I thought he fell asleep. So what are we going to do right now? We're going to invite him to the chat. I always mess this up. Yeah, I put all these extra securities on it. Let me just text him real quick. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry about this. Let's see, 3, 2. I apologize for this, guys. Just bear with me. This was he was supposed to come on. You want me to call in? Yes. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be better. He's gonna call in. That'll be better for me. So see if he comes on Zoom. We're gonna go through Facebook. I guess I'm gonna share the phone. What's going on? What's going on? Allow. Guys, unfortunately I'm having technical difficulties. Bear with me. I'm sorry. I know I'm live. We're gonna see. I hate to do stuff like this live. I love things, you know, where you guys are not waiting for the information, but this guy's running late. Yo, G, I'm going through Zoom, man, not Facebook. Yeah, can you see my Zoom session, or you need my information? Let me text you the information, man. Okay. Yeah, it's coming right now, and we already live, so everybody's waiting on you, bro. All right. It's coming to you right now. 564. All right, the first link is to get inside the meeting. And then I got to get you the meeting password. Yeah. 9, 8. And that's the password to get inside the meeting, okay? All right. So, all right, guys, he's about to come in. You can hang up, man. I'm waiting for you. All right. All right. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're talking about the new world order, and I was showing a video from my buddy's Facebook page. Okay, from my buddy's Facebook page, and he said a lot of information. I wanted to get him live. We talked earlier. He left his phone downstairs, so I apologize for a lot of the dead time. So if you guys just can hold on a couple of minutes, we're trying to work out a couple of technical difficulties, but I think his information will be worth the wait. Okay, I think his information will be worth the wait. And if not, give me a thumbs down if you don't think it's worth the wait. But the video within itself contained a lot of information. This dude is slower than a snail with no shell. Golly, I got people waiting for us. You know, I don't like the unprofessionalism. All right, call him back. Oh, here we go. I see you. All right, I think you're joining now, bro. All right, there we go. All right, man, what's up? Oh, your mic.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now, bro.
All right,
How you
sir.
doing, man?
I'm well.
Good. So, hey, I was like, I can't get the interview from the man himself, so I went on your Facebook. I went on your Facebook and just started playing the video. Man, it was some good information.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been funny because I've been talking about people talking about the new world order, and that they're so hung on this, 5G. Now, granted, regardless, because it's in that book, the New World Order book, regardless if it's true or not, but people are not worried about this money. You know what I'm saying? They're not worried about this money. And a lot of good things that you actually pointed out in your video was, one, I love the narrative of social distancing, because even at my job, right, we're social distancing throughout the entire place. And when does it come to once I get used to doing this, when do I go to a restaurant? When do I go on a cruise ship? If my whole thing is let me keep 6 feet away from everybody, because I won't say we're being brainwashed, but we're being conditioned, we're being nurtured to that point, and it's going to be hard to break that mold. What's your point on it?
No, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think businesses have put in things that it's going to be very hard to break. So we're in 3 weeks already. A lot of things are becoming habits now. And people are a lot less comfortable with each other. If you go out, if you've been outside a supermarket, what have you, I don't think they just pull a lever and go, okay, it's over. You go back to normal, start hugging and kissing everybody again. So I think we in that respect, I think we've changed, and it's going to take some adjustment to get back to normal.
Now, you were talking about different places where people can invest. Like, take for instance, I'm not bent on the new world order, but I am bent on making some money. Now, you said November, December. Now, I'm just going to say, I think it's going. Now, I've said as soon as the stimulus package, about a week after, I said they're gonna have to do another stimulus package, right? And this was only this is $1 billion more. Now, with that said, I already expected. I said on my channel, I told my viewers, I said, come July, August, September, houses are going to be extremely cheap. I see prices dropping right now. I'm looking at houses in Texas, and one house was like $289. Literally in a couple of days, it dropped $10,000. So it's staggering to me that, we're just, this is our point of view. We're kind of just like guesstimating, but whether it's in August or like you said, November, how's it going to be dirt cheap? And if you are not doing the right things by your finances right now, you're going to stay broke. Like you said, you're going to binge watch all your Netflix. You're going to do all that bull crap, but no one is reading up. No one is studying. No one is researching.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the one thing, it's a new world order. And, I want to stress to people, I was talking to somebody today, and they said, well, I don't understand real estate. I don't understand stocks. And I asked them, what do they do for a living? And, they do administrative work. Well, I was saying, you're a business. Like, if you understand what's going on now, once companies realize that they don't need people in-house, the word employee becomes a lot less attractive. So labor is a skill set, and labor is a service that you can offer. Jimmy Hoffa understood that back in the 50s. The thing is that people haven't conditioned themselves or positioned themselves to monetize it as a company or 1099 as opposed to an employee. And I think the people that jump out ahead and do that are going to be well ahead of the game, and to me, it's also safer. If I'm making 60,000 a year from one company, I'd rather make, 20,000 a year from 3 companies. And, I can get all the write-offs that come with business ownership.
I agree. And I'll tell you another, something else you said that was intriguing, that you said companies are now finding out that they can run their business from, their employees from home. And then a lot of that is going to be outsourcing because they don't have to provide those employee benefits that they have now. Granted, for tax purposes, they're going to keep maybe a third, maybe 40% of their workers in the US as tax write-offs. But here's something else that's intriguing for the viewers.
Yeah.
If you work from home, right? Wait for it, dog. Wait for it. You can work 2 jobs from home.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think people thinking about that. Look, they're going to give you a computer. You can do both jobs if you're that good. You can do both jobs.
Yeah, my people overseas do it. And that's one of the things, it pisses me off. But, I started, I don't pay hourly anymore. I pay on production. So I say, listen, I have this list. It may be, let's say, 1,000 Excel entries. I'll give you 10 cents an entry. If you get it done by this date, I'll throw in an extra $100. If you get it done by this date, instead of getting 10 cents a lead, you're gonna get 8 cents. So it keeps people honest.
Where are you outsourcing
to? Philippines, Pakistan, India. I've had South America, Nicaragua.
Now, it's funny you should say that because I did some outsourcing work with a couple of people from Pakistan. They work hard for a little bit of money.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Americans are spoiled. I hate to say it. And the one thing that you got to understand is that we're very lucky to be born here. Just the fact that our wage is paid in dollars, our dollar stretches along a lot in other places. So we can work a regular job and afford to hire people in other countries. They can't do that on their salary. So $1 over there gets them a lot more than it would get over here. So and that's another thing. You can build a virtual company. So let's say you offer admin services. It doesn't just have to be you. You can start bringing on other people that can offer the same services. That's already a business model that a lot of companies here are doing. Like actually, the team in Nicaragua that I had, the gentleman was actually from the U.S. and he had organized an office in Nicaragua, and he built a team of people to offer administrative services to the States.
How did that work out as far as structure? You didn't have to pay, like when you outsource some of your companies to overseas, do you have to pay? Are there are intellectuals, or is it to the point where you don't have to pay taxes even on them?
No, you don't even have to pay taxes. They operate under their own business. I mean, to give you some, I've built websites. I'm actually working on I'm building a artificial intelligence platform right now with individuals overseas. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, have MBAs. You know, they have accounting degrees. You know, a lot of them even train here and going to school in the States, and they've gone back to their countries. So
Wow.
the intelligence is you know, you get some very high level people for affordable pricing. I've been working
Now,
with people in China.
well, you know, I was going to ask you about China because a lot of people don't understand when Americans say that China is in debt. I mean, I'm sorry, not China. America is in debt to China. And I tell people it's quite easy. What China does is just like anyone, investments. But China goes and buy trillions of dollars of our debt through bonds.
Yeah,
They take those bonds and hold on to them in the conception of making the yuan cheaper, their money. I think that's how I think it's, yeah, YUAN yuan. Because a lot of people don't know that China is a second world power. Now, people may think
yeah.
Russia's up there, Great Britain or the UK. No, it's China.
It's China. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
what do you go ahead?
no, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good, bro. Go ahead.
Well, I was China's a very I want to say unique, but China has become the manufacturer of the world. So all the industrial jobs have landed in China. And if we look at what's happened with the U.S., we've become a country of consumers and not as much of a producer. Not we come up with ideas, but we no longer do the manufacturing. And there used to be a time when we used to pay the highest wages and also manufacture the cheapest. Obviously, those times have long gone. There's several reasons for that I could spend an hour talking about. But all in all, the business is competitive, and the name of the game is to provide value. And in order to be competitive, you need cheap labor to build products, or else if you
Definitely.
don't, then your competitor will, and you'll be out of business. So there's always going to be a market for cheap labor. It's just because of the powers that be, that cheap labor no longer exists in America, and it's sad.
I will say that was a good point you made about how America, you know, we're consumers, we really don't produce anymore. And that occurred actually between the Vietnam War and World War II. That when the slow decline, because before World War II, we produced a lot of products for other countries.
Yeah,
Now,
well,
when you go in the grocery stores, you know, your mangoes are from Costa Rica. And then, of course, everything is made in China. It doesn't matter what it is, right? So that's a good point you make. But let me ask you this. How
yeah.
does COVID-19 tie into the new world order and how we are being controlled?
Okay, so the economy, COVID-19 shouldn't be affecting the economy the way it is. You know, so I'm not going to get into all the conspiracy theories or whether you think we should be home or not, or how long you think it's going to last. The bottom line is it's here. What's happened has happened, and now we have to deal with the aftermath of it. So the reality is that the economy was already in trouble.
Definitely.
And, you know, we have the president and his constituents touting about, you know, how well the economy is doing, but the fundamentals didn't make sense. And to be honest with you, they haven't made sense for a while. You know, where if you notice, and since we've gotten into the 21st century, we've already had 3 major bubbles. You notice they're getting closer and larger, that each bailout that we deal with is bigger and bigger. So we had the dot-com bubble in 01, 2000, 2001, followed by the financial crisis, and now this. You know, we're only 20 years in, right? But we already had three booms and busts. Like I said, they're getting bigger. As far as the new world order, what else is new? The Fed, the interest rates are already very low, and I've told people a long time that don't be afraid of an adjustable rate mortgage, because interest rates aren't going nowhere. They can't afford to raise interest rates. It's just not happening. The economy is not strong enough. It hasn't been.
But now you talking about ARMs, right? Just rate mortgages, but
Yeah.
you know, I always felt like they were traps. They kind of wait till you get in, and then after the first year, they balloon your interest rates.
Well, no. Well, the ARM is typically they give you a teaser rate, and that could be 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. I think even some doing 7 years, and then it floats. They create a margin on the index, so it may be LIBOR or whatever other index there is. So as long as the interest rates are low, your margin is going to pretty much stay the same. So the bet that you're making is how long do you think there's going to be volatility in interest rates? Prior to 2008, you would get adjustable rate mortgages when the interest rates were high, because you expect them to drop. If interest rates are above average like they were in the 70s, they would drop, and then you'd be in a better position. So obviously now, banks don't mind offering ARMs, because if we had 1% interest rates, the thing is that they can only go up. So the question is the economy going to be strong enough, or when will the economy be strong enough to raise interest rates? And if you've noticed for the past a decade, I mean, we're going on a whole year, 13 since 2008. We're chugging into 13. The economy hasn't been strong enough to raise interest rates significantly, and that's not going to get any better by this. We're already in the next bubble. So interest rates are going to remain low. They can go negative. I hope they don't, but they can. And we're just going to continue to have quantitative easing. The government's going to continue to pump money into the economy, which is going to do one of a few things. It's going to either, it's going to take away the deflationary measures, and eventually, if you have a lot of dollars chasing the same supply, eventually prices are going to go up. And the reality is, if you give poor people money, they're going to spend it to whatever rich people are selling them. And that gap is going to continue to spread. And we're going to also have inflation.
Definitely. I think inflation is going to go. I mean, people say it's already at 3%. So the regular 1.8 to 2.1, I used to always say, now it's up to 3.1.
Yeah, but that's the real killer in the economy. Like, a lot of people don't know that the way an economy normally works, or it should work, is that prices don't go up. Prices actually get cheaper, because the companies get more efficient at producing things. Just think about when the cell phone first came out and what it costs.
They get better at production and making products.
Exactly. So if we didn't have government intervention and we didn't have debts and bailouts, the economy would tank a lot harder, but we'd get back to basics. So basics is this: without the government restrictions, and without the market, if you let the market dictate, what happens is that products over time get cheaper. Even if you make the same money, your spending power goes up. So $1 that you save today is actually worth more tomorrow. And that allows us to be able to, one, sustain ourselves in times like this, but also use that extra funding to invest and create and continue to grow the economy. We should be making our own stuff here. It's very possible that we can, but obviously, when you put floors and laws in place, companies are going to do what they have to do to get the best products elsewhere and make it cheaper.
So let me ask you this, because I know some people want to. I know some people out there. You know, I see Elliot in the room. Who else? I see Wanda Wisdom, D Nice. These some of my subscribers, man. But this is why I know some people, and I want to know myself. Now, I've been looking at houses because I already knew the economy is going to crap.
Yeah.
My question is this: I'm buying. First of all, I want to buy a house for me, right? For me, and single family home. But what if I already have a house? What if I already have a home, and I'm looking into real estate, right? And I know you're big into flipping. Another buddy of mine, where I did a video on what I told you about, name of Rod Perry. He's into buy and hold. He rents. Yeah. Now, what if I don't want to do a lot of work? Because that's the truth, right? You're a businessman. You're a hard worker. You was homeless twice. You got yourself out of it. Now you're a millionaire. Yeah. So you're all about hard work. But everybody's not about hard work. They're like, hey, I can spare maybe, you know, maybe $1,000, $2,000 for 2 months. I want to buy a property, but I don't want to have to do a lot of work. Should they flip the home or should they rent it? Now, my advice would be rent it, but then the question would be, what type of home should they be looking for? And any advice you may have on that.
When you say rent it, are you speaking about the home that they're currently in? Or are you looking at?
No, they buy, you know, say for instance, I'm in a single family home that I'm paying a mortgage on. I'm buying it. But they want to buy another property. Should they buy a rental property? Like it could be a single family home they just rent out, or a duplex or a condo or whatever. What is your advice? Do you think they should rent it because they don't want to do a lot of work? Okay. Because some people are like, I don't want to have to go here and go there and go to the title office. I just want to have steady income coming in. Whereas though you know, you flip so many houses within the 3-month span, you know the profits that you're going to receive from that. Somebody just wants something steady where they don't have to do a lot of work. What is your advice on that?
Get a goldfish.
Yo, man, what is wrong with you, man? Get a goldfish. Yeah.
Listen,
nah, man.
You got nothing like people talk about the joys of having kids, but there's some stuff or BS that comes with it as well. So the flipping side is this: you don't have tenants, but then you have the pressure of dealing with contractors and buying correctly and selling and carrying costs and all that nature. And you also, when you buy another property, you have the issue of dealing with tenants. Now, me personally, you got to be very wary about making a single family your first investment. You know, I typically don't like investments where if one person pays, I'm positive. If one person doesn't pay, I'm negative. You know, that's a coin toss. Anything can happen. Somebody can die, and you've turned the income stream into a very hefty bill. So usually, if you're doing the single family thing, you want to make sure that you're at a price point that if that tenant doesn't pay, it's not going to hurt you to control it. That you're in a market where, not like New York or California, where it's going to take a very long time to get the tenant out. And you want to obviously try to get multiple units. You know, you don't want to just bank on one property. So if you're building a portfolio and you're starting with a single family, the goal should be to get to 5 or 10 as quickly as possible, so that you can hedge yourself. Because the last thing you want to do is create a bill. So
now, real quick, what people
Sure.
don't understand, hedging is a form that financial people use, or people in the market for. Is a kind of insurance. I've talked about it before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but there's some, you know, you have to look at your lifestyle and really what you want as far as, you know, like you said, do you want the big windfalls of money, or do you want, you know, steady money?
I mean, I'm just trying to turn up every night. You know how I get down, baby. Yeah, shoot, I'm trying to turn up.
Yeah, but I've dealt with both, and they both have their advantages. Obviously, I've sold a lot of my stuff prior to this year, just because I didn't like what was going on in the market. And
Yeah.
let me help you guys out with this, so you can make better decisions as far as when to buy and what to buy. Too many beginner investors, the biggest thing they talk about is value, right? And they equate value to what things are selling for. And I think Warren Buffett said it best: the difference between price and value, right? So price is what you pay, value is what you get. And if we look at basic fundamentals, real estate as an investment should cash flow, right? So if I'm looking at a property, if I'm looking to hold it, I don't care if I buy it at 300,000 and and it's worth 400,000. That's nice. But if I'm looking to hold it, if I hold it for 300,000, what can I rent it for? And if I don't have a healthy cash flow on that, and I don't mean like, well, I rent it, it pays for itself, or I rent it, I make $50 a month. That's negative in my book, right? So if there's a healthy cash flow, then that's a deal that I can move forward with and take down. So yes, and when I say cash flow, I mean, even if that's the case, you also have, you have taxes, things like that you have to also take into consideration.
Especially when you're making a lot of unearned income.
Yeah, I'm talking about even property taxes on the real estate.
Woo! Especially in New York. I know that property tax. New York is boardwalk on Monopoly, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you buy a property, I like equity. Obviously, equity's first, cash flow is second to hold, but it has to be a healthy margin. So if I get that $300,000 property is worth 400,000, and it's not healthy cash flow, then I'm selling it to get my investment.
Now, when you buy and flip, do you ever do a rehab?
Yeah.
So that ties into what you were saying before, right? So if you buy the equity in the home is 400,000 and you buy for 300,000, now granted, depending on the condition of the home, you might have to take 50,000 out of that equity, put it back into the home, and hopefully that you'll get the other 50,000 on the back end for the amount the equity already had in the home. Or depending on where you put the money, places like the bathroom and kitchen, you could even double it to $150,000 in profit.
Yeah, I mean, rule of thumb, if you want to buy a house at 70% minus construction. That's a rule of thumb. It's not concrete, it's not, set sketched in stone, but that's a rule of thumb.
Well, let me tell you this. You and Rod agree on the exact same thing. He said he always buy houses at 70% of the value.
Yeah. Because after you do 2 closings, your first closing when you buy, second one when you sell, broker's fees, carrying costs, that equity evaporates pretty quickly. And then also too, you have taxes, and when you're flipping, it's not capital gains, it's ordinary income.
Somebody had a good question. Let me ask you this real quick, G.
Sure.
D Nice says, how are you making a positive cash flow on a 300,000 when you're holding? Do you have a tenant in it while you're waiting to sell?
Well, no, if you buy it, you're deciding if you're going to rent it or sell it right away. And the construction that goes into a sale is a lot different than what goes into a rental. You can cut a lot of corners if you're just renting the property, but yeah, you would do that math before you purchase.
So you already know before you purchase a property, you're either going to flip it or rent it.
Yeah. Okay. You need 2 exits. So I like projects that work both ways. So I can go into a deal and I say, listen, I'm going to sell it, but worst case, if I rent it, does it pay for itself? And if the answer to that is yes, then I'm in a good position. I don't like things where I gotta go negative, because you never know, a lot of stuff is speculation, like you don't know when Corona is going to happen, I'm sure.
I mean, Corona's happening tonight. I got a 6-pack in the refrigerator. No, I'm cool. My bad, bro. My bad.
But you have to plan for things happening. I want to say something else, but you got to plan for things happening. Yeah. So
like what? Like what?
Things.
Things like what? You want to say the New World Order? Did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, bro. Stop.
Yeah.
You know what? This phone is not 5G. People like, you're 5G, you're going to fry your brain. I got it. Because here's the thing. And I tell a lot of people this. My phone started talking. I told a lot of people this. Regardless, like the New World Order has been occurring for the past 50, 60, 80, 100 years, whatever.
Yeah.
And the regime of power shifts. And there's a new world order. But listen, at the end of the day, world order doesn't mean the world's going to end, because guess what rich people like? Rich people like money because they like services from poor people, right? I can't be rich. Now think about it like this. If I'm rich and I can buy up everything, but I got to carry my own furniture up my house, I need, low income workers to carry my furniture up my house, right? You got to get those shipping companies. The people who work for the shipping companies don't make no money, but the shipping company probably make millions of dollars a year. When I call Zoom or something like that, or Carfax, I don't know, they drop off my car at my door. It takes a driver to drop my car. I'm rich. Why would I go to a car dealership? I'm gonna go online, order, drop it off. In order for people to be rich, we have to allow people to be rich. That's the first thing. Second thing is we need to learn how to be rich, because they don't go through what normal middle class and lower class people go to. They're not worried about food. They're not worried about cars or gas prices. Like I go to Whole Foods, somebody told me, oh man, when you go to Whole Foods, man, those products there are very expensive. I said, I realize what expensive is and what cheap is. Expensive is indicative of how much you earn. Think about that.
Yeah.
If I make $50,000 a year and you make $150,000 a year, and we both going to Whole Foods, you're just going to be buying your food, right? Depending on how much debt and all that bills you got. I got that. But essentially, if we don't really have anything going on, like, man, this stuff is expensive. Like, expensive? This stuff cheap, because it depends on how much you make a year. So when somebody say, oh man, that's really expensive, and I'd be like, in my mind, it's expensive to you, because we have to think about money not as a resource of a resource to buy things. We need to look at it as a tool to make more money, to earn more money. But people don't think that way.
I think you kind of have to. I don't see when. All right, this is a dumb question, right? So they just pumped $2 trillion, $5 trillion into our economy. $5 trillion.
I mean, right? Come on, so, 4.4, bro. 4.4.
Yeah, whatever.
No, 4.5. 4.5.
It'll be 6 and change next week. So whatever. They're not done. They're not done.
Okay.
So you have all this money that's being pumped into the economy, and you're telling me that the most telling anybody, the most you could figure out, the best you could figure out how to get some of it is to sit back, collect the $200 check, and continue to work on your job. That's the only thing that you could figure out. They're throwing like you said, $4.45 trillion in the air, and your strategy to get some of that is, I'm gonna just continue to work on the job. If that's your answer and inflation goes up and you can't afford certain things, then that's your fault. That's how I feel.
But you know, the stimulus packages that they are giving out are really going to help a lot of people with absolutely nothing. It's not going to help. What? Think about this. What are you going to do with $1,200? What is a family going to do with $2,500? Nothing. Buy more toilet paper, buy more baby wipes. And that's why this is important for people to understand how to earn more money in different streams, have different streams of income, you know, not just in real estate, not just in investing, not just bond, not just CDs, not just intellectual properties, like even having a side hustle. Like I always talk about my infamous me selling shades. I talked about during this time, since everybody want to buy hand sanitizer, buy alcohol, buy aloe vera gel, put them in a 3-ounce bottle and sell it for $10. People going to buy it. Everybody tripping out. So there's all this money to be made, and people want to know the different ways they can make it. And I kind of think about what Hobson said. He just got a brain and he uses it. A lot of times people are in front of the, you know, what our parents used to call it back in the day, glued to the tube, the dumb tube, the zombie tube, something silly like that. Yeah. You're so focused on TV while everybody else out here are doing all these other things and making and earning a lot of money. Because think about it. If you was, once you got your MBA in business, you got your family, and you got a job working with that real estate company when you started off at. If you just was content staying at that company, you would never became a millionaire. Now, you probably would have never became homeless either. But I'm gonna tell you, one thing I learned about people who are millionaires, a lot of them were homeless, right? Or they lived out of their office. You know, Bill Gates lived out of his office. Jeff Bezos lived out of his office. And you actually lived out of your office and your car. And that cardboard used to hold up. No, I was like, gee, that's you. Here you go, big dog. He got $100, big dog. Nah. But you was homeless and you made a lot of millions off the information that you were retaining. And if you would have went the safe route, if you didn't take chances, if you didn't take risks, you know what I'm saying, you probably would have never been homeless. But then again, you would never become a millionaire.
Yeah. Yeah. When you look back on stuff, part of that stuff is, you know, it makes you, you know, fearless. You know, I'm not really afraid to lose everything. You know, I don't want to, but, you know, but I'm not afraid. But to answer your question, and people need to, we're so caught up in, us, we've been raised to focus on job that we don't even realize that we're a business. The new model of the new world order is the way Uber is doing it. Companies are going to be Uber. They're going to 1099. Uber doesn't own any cars. They're trying to own the car. They're trying to do the self-driving. Listen, they created a system and people plug into that system. And everybody's in essence their own business. So if you start treating your labor as such, you can offer that service to other companies, whether it be you going on site and doing it or you doing it remotely. And then if you can get to the point where you can actually go past yourself instead of being the barber and now owning the shop, you've created a business. And you know, your whatever you do, you know, I don't know if I can't say that everybody's good at what they do, but if you enjoy what you do and you like it, at the very least, if you understand it, you can teach it and duplicate it and give it to other businesses. You know, there's value in that. So
let me interject real quick, G. I'm sorry to cut you off. There's a lot of good information, but we were talking about Uber, and you strike something in me because did you know that Uber is actually working on an air shuttle, a Uber air shuttle, where they have like these different mini pads around the city, and I don't know what type of jet or plane it is, but they're actually working on an Uber shuttle. Now, other than that, there's another key point you made out, how Uber has become rich because of other people's vehicles. They say it's kind of like a business say, hey, listen, you work for us, it's going to require some driving, but we're going to reimburse you on your miles. Uber said, we're going to do it better. You're going to be your own taxi, your own business, kind of like the Amazon Flex thing. You use your own vehicle and all that, but they take a big cut of the profits. And then every now and again during prime season, where, you know, New Year's, Easter, like we would celebrate Easter this weekend, all these holidays, Uber would kind of give kickbacks to the drivers as a teaser to keep them with the company, by all the while doing none of the work. The only thing they have done was build a very intricate navigation app. That's all they've done. And people in the chat, you know, Uber, Lyft, there's another one out there. I'm not saying you need to get into that particular that field, but I'm thinking about my boy G. He does a lot of work overseas with Pakistanis. You said Filipinos. I know I've done, even my Ross World symbol, this symbol right here was made by a Pakistani female on Fiverr. I do a lot of work through Fiverr, and guess how much I paid for that? $50. $50. She gave me 3 or 4 sets of designs for $50. So the way you talked about Uber, man, just kind of rang a lot of information in my mind, how easy things are to build a business. The difficulty comes in the way you structure and go about the business.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give you a a lesson that one of my mentors gave me. And a lot of times, you know, we confuse staying busy in the business as we confuse busy in production. You know, being busy is not production. So we want to look nice. We want to have a nice business card. We want to present ourselves well, because that's what we
no value added. No value added.
Exactly. The first thing he said is, so I said, what should I be doing? He said, take what you're doing to stop all your activities right now. I want you to think about what's the quickest way to get money and draw a line to it and do exactly, run to that, do that. That's the first thing you need to do. Buy anything. Stop buying whatever. What's the quickest way to the money? You know, he says, what good is a website if you don't have a business, if you don't have any customers? If you don't have any customers, why you need a website? People go, I need a website to get the customers. No, you don't necessarily. You know, what do you have to sell them? You know, so, you know, before I even had a website, before I had a functioning website, I had figured out how to bring in and attract customers or attract people with deals. You know, before I had that, I didn't need a website. Then I started getting the phone ring. Then I take the money I made from that and I build the website. But you know, when you start kicking out money, the goal should be how quickly is it coming back. And that's why I like when you build a business from when you're broke, you make a lot. This decision making becomes a lot sharper. If you look at Shark Tank, a lot of questions they ask how much money you put in the business. Somebody goes $600,000, $700,000, they usually don't get a deal unless it's some tech company and they got, you know, some, you know, they're gonna go IPO pretty soon. But if you're a regular mom and pop, they like to see that not only that you have equity still, but there's decision. When you say I've started with $5,000, the decision making that you've made in order to get that to $100,000 or $200,000, it takes a lot, and that's a skill. You know, you don't have to. You don't take any shortcuts with that. If you can gather the lessons from that, it's going to pay wonders when you actually start getting money, because your decision making is going to be a lot better.
But you know, someone asked a question here. I want to get your opinion on. Give me 1 second. I think it was on this page over here. Where is the good location for a multi-unit property to buy at? No. Give me 1 second. Well, here's a comment someone made. This is from D Knight. She says, he says, a new world order doesn't mean world is ending. They're just reconstruction, shifting gears to the new economy, new life of doing things. We got to get back to the basics, being creative, new hand-on trading businesses, things like that. What do you think about that actual comment?
Yeah, I think there is a regression to we went through an industrial age, and where people started working for people, and we're shifting. We're going back to the era where you work for yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's an excellent decision for many reasons. I give you somebody out that works with me in the office. Everybody in my office has their own business. I don't have any.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody in the office has their own business. And after this coronavirus hit, she called me up. She said, "Hey, I just want to thank you for helping me set up a business. Because now I see the advantage of it. She's saying that other people are waiting for a $1,200 check. I'm walking into a bank and I'm getting several $1,000s as a loan with no collateral and no personal guarantee, just because I'm a business. This payroll loan, I'm on my payroll. Like my salary is my payroll. So
Exactly.
I can borrow 2.5 times that. And now I have money to invest. So that type of thinking puts people further ahead. Stop thinking like an employee. That's the first one.
Stop thinking like a boss.
An employee. Yeah. If you at the end of the day, we're all bosses. And then you need to think that way. I give you another one. It's funny. I was speaking to somebody today and they said, yeah, I got a contract that they want to. Yeah, I got a property. I was talking to this contractor. They wanted to take me half up front. Now I've made all the dumb mistakes in the world. Yeah, I have contractor stories. I could do a whole nother show on just contractor stories. So
I bet you got some stories for that too. I know you do.
Oh man, yeah. I give you my funniest contractor story. I had a job in Albany we were doing, and I live downstate, so I go up there twice a week. And the construction job distances wise, so I go to my job site. My partner gave this guy $30,000 up front. So we go to the job site, no work is done. Maybe some of the a little bit of stuff is moved out. It's all gone. So we're searching all around town, all around the street for this guy, right? So we find our contractor in OTB, off track betting, right? So he's trying to make a profit on our $30,000.
So wait a minute, he was gambling with the 30,000?
100%.
Oh my gosh, man.
100%, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we ended up having to take him to court. It got ugly. And yeah, it got ugly.
Hey G, do you invest in individual stocks, not CDs, but individual stocks, index funds and ETF funds?
Not really. I do. I mean, I have some money in it, but I'm not an expert. I can spot value. So when I say like this is low, all right, I can jump in, but I don't follow the market every day like that to be able to day trade and make profit like that.
Well, let me tell you, I used to be a day trader, and it's hard work. I had a regular job and I was trying to day trade. You can't do both. You can't do both and be successful. But I will tell people, if you're looking into investing right now, one of the hottest form of investing, it's been a while for a long time, is option trading, right? Yeah. It's option trading, but you can lose a lot of money in option trading. I did a video a couple of days ago how I lost $500 option trading, right? Because either you are betting, it's a bet to me. Option to me, people say investing is not gambling, and essentially, I don't think investing is gambling, but option trading is a form of betting, in my opinion, only because I'm looking at a stock. I'm looking at the analytics. I'm looking at the CEO. I'm looking at innovation. I'm looking at stock news, right? You need all the information when you're doing option trading, because you're essentially betting or guesstimating or predicting if that stock is going to go up, which is a call, or the stock is going to decrease in price or in value, and that's called a put. So you set your option on a contract of, you know, a day or a week, and you're looking at your profit margins change depending on your risk category. So when people say, you know, I always tell people, for me, it took me about a good year studying option trading to be good at it. Now, me doing a video on option trading, dude, I have yet to even really do one because it's so complex. Now, I've seen videos on YouTube that they kind of give you some really good information about option trading. But the one thing that I feel like when people invest, they want someone to give them investment information. I hate to do that. I'll let people know what I invest in, or I might say, well, you know, from my point of view, I believe that's a good investment. But the best investments are the research that people do, not the information that people tell you, because we all understand that, you know, investing in penny stocks is just fraudulent as hell. Like, can you make money off of penny stocks? Yes, you can. But penny stocks, more so than other well-established stocks, they pump and dump, right? A stock is 13 cents. So the person who made up the stock, the company, the organization, buys so many shares of the stock. So when they buy so many shares of the stock, the price value of the stock goes up. Then people say, oh, this is a hot penny stock. So everybody starts to buy. Once the company, organization, or the entity that built it, once they see that, you know, they it's been pumped up so much with the value increase, they sell their, you know, 2, 3, 4 million stocks and make $1 million off that, you know, one pump and dump. And that's why I tell people, research. But the main point of me saying what I said is that, you know, you don't really invest that much. Now, I kind of read the Rich Dad Poor Dad. And when I say kind of, you know, read some, you know, information here and there. And he doesn't invest in anything that's not real, right? He doesn't invest in stocks and bonds and all that. He invests in commodities, you know, gold, or things that are real, tangible items, and also real estate. And I agree with that to a certain point, because I've made money off investment. Like, regardless if you see it or not, I got things in here that I bought with my investment money. So to me, I'm not going to negate one form of making money or not. But I'll even tell you this, bro. If you got a slush fund, option trading, bro. I made $400 in 3 minutes option trading. And I just was so happily looking at a stock. Just bought it. And then I was just looking at TV. Oh, let me sell that. Because I just knew it went up $400 in like 2 or 3 minutes, man.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is I've always bet on myself, and you know, you can't control all bets, but like when you bet on yourself, you kind of learn. And I've structured a similar. I mean, there's options in real estate. I use them all the time. I made a lot of money doing it. Let me give you an example. Like, let's say you got property that's upside down, where the owner owes more than the property's worth. So it's a short sale. So I go, listen, I'll put 500 down on the contract, or I'll put nothing down on the contract, $1 down. And I'll say, hey, listen, your house is, you know, you owe more than it's worth. I'm going to negotiate. I'm having my negotiator negotiate with the lender. And if I get the payoff at, let's say 150,000, I'll buy it. If I don't, then I won't buy it. I'll get the contract and then we'll negotiate. So if I get the number I want, I'll move forward with the closing. If I don't get the number I want, I'll back out of the deal. That's simple. You know, that's an option with no downside. So it's like, all right, I'm almost guaranteed to make money. You know,
but do you, but in your dealings, do you look for foreclosures, short sales, and or projects, or you look for all of them?
Motivated sellers.
Okay.
Yeah. Motivated sellers. Distressed sellers.
People who are people who are dying to sell, like that house that dropped $10,000 in 3 days. I'm looking at.
Yeah, listen, with market, when market's going down, only people that's selling are people that have to sell. And I know if you're selling your property in December, this is like I know you're in trouble. You don't have to tell me. There's no way you have to sell, or else you wouldn't be. You know, you really trying to get out because you know you're not getting top dollar. You know what you were getting 6 months ago. You know you're not getting anywhere close to that. But,
so you think people shouldn't buy right now? They should wait a little bit longer?
No, I think it depends on the deal.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still good deals to be had. You know, there'll be good deals to have all the way down. There's people that had that own their property free and clear, and they just say, you know what, I want out. You know, you make on the right offer, and you know, you do that deal.
Well,
Yeah.
Joy is a friend of ours, you know. But
Yeah.
are you still flipping properties now, even during this pandemic?
No, actually, I was in the process of acquiring stuff. I was actually doing a lot of wholesale. I had just sold. I just sold the property in January. I was picking up 2 more. So you know, I had 2 more I was gonna pick up. Actually, the week before before things really hit the fan. But the position in them was so low, it really didn't matter. Like, you know, I was buying something like the property is worth like 350. I was getting it at 175. And it need no work. They need any work. It was ready to go.
Oh, okay. And all your houses are based in New York?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You told me around the US, right?
Nah, I do Florida,
Cali?
Delaware. I don't do anything in Cali.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. I didn't want to take too much time of you. Like I said, that Facebook video, man, that joint was the truth. So I showed a little bit of that on this. If you want to go back and watch the video, I can send you the link. But I showed some of your Facebook video, and then you was texting me, and everybody could see our text. I was like, don't say nothing crazy, man. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to take too much of your time. I know it's really late there. You're burning candles in the background because your electricity got turned off. But but no, man, I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm gonna hit you up on the phone once we get off. All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Much love, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
So,
all right, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm your host. Sorry I didn't read your notes. I was on my boy with Gashar. Millionaire Made. We out.